Hello there. So this one is a little bit of a change of pace. I've got the earphone in because I need a microphone. It's raining very, very heavily here. You can probably still hear it in the background. So I would be out in nature doing this one. I can feel the call to be outside, but here we are in the room instead. And this is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to share a bit of information that came through a session that I did with someone recently, and I'm not going to tell you how it is. This is not what's going on at all. This is just the info that came through the two of us, through her, in this session, and it was very, very interesting, and has some good metaphors, some good segues, which is why I want to share it to other stuff I've been talking about publicly and not so publicly. So we started out finding a structure in her body, an energetic structure to be removed, and the questioning, as we're chasing this stuff, the questioning, I follow the breadcrumb trail. Basically, I get prompted a question to ask, and we just follow it, um, and then stuff comes up as it comes up, and and so what we were dealing with was a structure that she was told was put on her at the beginning of time, and we imagined that that would probably mean the beginning of this construct, because time outside of here, whatever it is, it doesn't work the way it works inside here. So it's called something else. It's not time. It is actually something else. So time began when she first came into this construct, whatever it is, and what we were trying to work out, for some reason I had a bee in my bonnet. I was trying to work out who put it on her or in her, because it was a gift. Like gift in inverted commas. Beware Greeks bearing gifts. Um, it was a gift with a maniacal chuckle in the background, and I was hell bent on working out whether she was given the gift before she came in or after, because I've got a working theory that outside of this construct, like, evil doesn't really exist the way we think it does, or distortion doesn't really exist. Actually, distortion probably can't exist. Distortion can only exist in pocket realms, in constructs, in virtual reality isn't quite the correct word, because what is reality anyway? But you know what I mean, a pocket realm. Some sort of separated construct from the whole. An ant farm, I guess. And so that's been a working theory of mine, that I'm not welded to or wedded to. I'm just, like all my working theories, I'm just testing its metal all the time against other data points to see, does it hold up or not. I'm always attacking my own shit all the time. And we couldn't get a straight answer. What we did get an answer was were the beings who gave her this gift out there or in here, and the answer was both. Now, there are beings in here that don't exist out there. They're part of the construct. They're part of the programming. But if you exist in both, then you are outside, and you've also got skin in the game. You're inside as well. So that was a good thing. Which then I was really hammering on it. So, was the gift given to you on the outside? Because that would change all of my theories. And she was told that the gift was the price of admission. You couldn't get in without the overlay, basically, the astrology, the implant. There's no way of getting in without it. She couldn't get through the doorway to get in here without paying the price of admission. It kind of made me think it was given to her on the outside, and I was like, I don't think stuff like that can exist outside. So we pushed a bit further, and we pushed a bit further as I tried to break apart my own theory. And what we found was it was given to her in the birth canal. It was given to her in the corridor in between, because doorways are liminal spaces. The bit in between one room and another room doesn't exist. That's what a liminal space means. It's a pocket realm. Every doorway you walk through is a pocket realm of, I was going to say infinite space, but it's almost more like, infinite's better than eternal. Infinite space. There's like a loop, there's a feedback loop of kind of this infinite space of everything and nothing in the doorway in between one room and another. It's called liminal space. It's like a birth canal. The corridor can appear like a doorway. There's no distance at all. But the reality of that corridor could actually be quite long. Quite long. But you just step through and you don't realize how long the corridor was. It's just one room, the other room. You jump through liminal space. And so she was told it was given to her in the corridor, in the birth canal. Like it was, I think the exact words were, it was in the fluid, like the amniotic fluid. The virus was in the fluid. You can't come through the birth canal without getting the virus installed. It is the price of admission for in here. We all kind of know that in a way. Those of us who are conceptualizing what's going on in here and what we're in and what we're about, we all kind of feel that in our own way with our own words. What was very interesting that came through, which I liked very much, was we were trying to find out who this was, this group, these beings, who are both outside and inside. And I said, because she was told watchers, and then she was told evil controllers, and then she was told puppet masters, we kind of dropped it. We moved in another direction, then we snuck up on it, we came back from another way. And I said, how are this group that is inside and outside, who is kind of responsible for the fuckery, let's just put it that way, that's going on in here, I said, how are they referred to in here? What is the title that they're most referred to as in here? And and the two words she heard was MFers. I won't lay it out. You know what I mean. And they. I just thought that's beautiful, because yeah, that's absolutely what they're most referred to as. And so leaning on my theory that distortion does not really exist outside of here, I asked, are we at odds with each other, these two groups, us and them, the MFers? Are we at odds outside of here? And she said, no. I said, are we aware of each other? Do we know each other? Do we operate together? Do we have knowledge? She went, oh, no, more than that. We're brothers. We're friends. We're very close friends. We work together a lot. Us and them. We're not the same. We're not, all one unity. But us and we're not them and they're not us. But we are all the one group. We hang out together outside. And so the way it was explained to her was this place was set up, among many, many other reasons. This place was kind of set up to show us who we are, like an escape room to show you that you're God. I mean, not saying that we're God, because, but it was like, this place is like, you're meant to go in there and there's lots of stuff that you can do in there, but to test your mettle as well. And so I said, from that point of view, perhaps was what that goes on in here, did it perhaps work a little bit better than we might have expected it to work? And she went, oh yes. I said, did this whole setup work a bit better than even they expected it would work? And she heard the words in her head, oh shit. But it's like, it's the setup. You can't, once you're in, you can only get out by getting out. But the message was that who we are outside of here, the versions of us, however much of us is outside of this thing, whatever it is, us and them were more than a little bit worried about how it was playing out in here, because the setup in here was working much, much, much better, might be the wrong word, but efficiently, like it exceeded expectations. It was too good, and it put everyone in a bit of a panic, was the story that came through. And so, also we worked it out. It's worked out. How to end it, how to finish it is worked out, and it is working out. But we don't actually know how to do that. We know what the ending needs to look like. We know how it needs to look for this to be finished. But we don't know the steps, how to get there. Can't be seen because of what it's like in here. And because of that, that's true for out there as well. The steps for how to get there are kind of unknown, but we know they exist and we know what the ending looks like. And that's all that matters. So it's like trusting that you're following the thread and getting the feedback as well. Like it's not blind faith. It's not that sort of trust. Proper trust. Yeah, and so that was one of the big messages that came through, was that the data, the information is a distraction, and going for more data and information rather than just doing what you need to do, doing what you must, following the thread, following your own breadcrumbs. Getting lost in the data is a real distraction, and you need the data that you need, but you don't know what data you need. You have no fucking clue. You think you do. As soon as you think, you're lost. That's virus. You can't think. You just need to act in the moment. You just need to follow the thread. And the minute you think about it, that's not it. So there are things that you need to know to get to the next frame, but you don't know what you need to know. So you have to trust that you're connected with that bit of you outside of here, a bigger version, and work on it like that. However that works to you, in your heart, out there, whatever. But that's the key, came through very strongly for her, was don't go chasing the data. Be in the moment and let the relevant data for you come to you, and don't get lost in the ego game of the personality and not that. And the last bit, like I said, this is not how it is. This is just her metaphors for her session coming through her, also tainted by me, obviously, because I was facilitating the session, and that's energy works that way. But the other thing that came through was gold. Not the color gold, but gold was very important, very for her. And I've been feeling that for a while as well. I know other people have been. So not the color gold, but whatever it is that gold is, because that metaphor of gold is unchanging. Like whatever you do to gold, it remains the same structure, like the same molecular, all those scientific things about gold. You can't change gold. It is what it is. That seems to be a metaphor, that gold is the one thing in here that is the same in this construct and outside of this construct. And so there are only really two things we know of in here that are immovable, that are totally unchangeable. And that is us, who we are, and gold. So it's about following that thread of who the fuck are you actually. And however you need to find that, just find that thread and follow it. And don't be surprised if it's a golden thread. All right. Much love.